Yeah.
But I mean, but methodical, and very like poised um, drumming you had going on there, and I was kind of like, oh, so I was been trying to emulate that a little bit more, and um, um, but yeah, it was good, and I think that session just started getting me opening up things a little bit more on the traditional grip, and I was watching the guys, or I was watching Greg and I don't know if you know Roger Pease, who's also in the Last Regiment, but he's like one of our older members. He's
Mm,
like in his 70s,
yeah.
and he looks like he's like in his 50s.
Awesome.
He doesn't look like he's in his 70s. But I was watching them play, and I noticed Greg had more stuff, so he could, boom, boom,
Hmm.
boom, And Roger, even on same strokes, had that finger still in there,
Yeah.
boom, boom. And I asked him about that, and he says, well, he had started having problems with his thumbs because of the rebound, so he put in
Oh,
that index finger in there to help with that rebound, so it didn't put all the stress on his thumb.
right.
And so it was interesting to talk to them about that, and ask them a little bit about why why Greg was doing this
Hmm.
without that index, and then why Roger left that index in there, to because he was getting a thumb injury, you know.
Right. Yeah. Isn't that interesting that I know it's really what I feel like has been the big sort of like longer lesson for me over the course of playing drums has been just like, oh, there's lots of different ways to accomplish the same goal. Like you could use
Yeah,
and you see, I think a lot of it was seeing, specifically with traditional grip, it was like, seemed like to me, I just started noticing that everybody does it slightly different or something. Like
yeah,
it's like a snowflake. Like there's no one in perfect. I think in drum corps they make it look all the same. They can make it look uniform, and they definitely have sort of like I think each corps has different rules. Like in this corps, our index finger goes here, and but that's just for that season, probably, right? I mean, I don't know. And it's not when I was growing up, I thought that meant that that was it. But yeah, I it's true. Like you can use your thumb to get that rebound. You can use some people really go like I use my index finger a lot for the push and pull where it's like I'll use my thumb to throw it down and then I'll use my index finger to do that what would be like the push and pull or whatever, the
yeah,
catch and release or whatever it is. And then that kid Grayson, like he was saying on his he's 19 and he's just like a master. I'm like, what Grayson said to do, he uses he also uses that middle finger a lot, and then even all the way down to his pinky. But and then you notice like uh, some of the classical players are like straight up like this, and like the drums right here, and they're just like they're playing like almost like that, like a backhand or something. It's just like oh, and then like the jazz guys when they're comping, they're just way up like this. It's like to get that feathery kind of I don't know, just yeah, it's
yeah.
cool. It's really an art.
Wind up really well.
But I love the first thing you said. You're right. These quicker tempos sort of give your body permission to open up because there's no other way. There's no choice. You can't do it unless you kind of your body deducts to like what works, and so it sort of forces you into it.
Yeah, well, and I got to say on the diddles, I'm still kind of it's
That sounds
I feel
great,
like I
man.
still need that index finger and the diddles, but
Yeah,
I'm also having to play it lower, and not, it's definitely much lower to try and get those diddles in.
totally. Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's the thing. It's
um,
like, right, if you're working on getting the diddles clean, like, you're not necessarily working on making it sound big and huge. If you want it to sound, I mean, I think that's a good way to go. It's like first make it sound clean and doable at a lower height or lower volume, and then as you get stronger, you can build that. But that's I mean, it's however
Yeah.
however you can get it. But
I think you got a stream to do, man.
we're already streaming. I'm just kind of like I just put our
Oh.
chat on this stream. It's
Okay.
this is where it's at. They're gonna learn more from our conversation than they'll get more out of us talking about it than me talking at a screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I use my index finger a lot. I mean, I have to use my index finger to do these, even at this tempo. Like, if I'm not using my index finger to catch that, I basically am doing the second stroke with my index finger.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think maybe if Nate's here, like, he might be doing that with his thumb, and some people, maybe Don Worth would wrist it or something. I don't know. But I guess the general, the main thing is at this point, especially if you're in uncharted territory with the technique, it's all about at this point listening and getting your head out of your hands at this point. And just listening for it. And then if you look down and you notice your hands just going, like doing something really weird or awkward, then, maybe check in and be like, well, maybe I should rotate it or something. But not being hypercritical about it, more being hypercritical about the sound. The Zen sort of like, if drums was a religion, I guess the verse would be like, if you follow the sound, the technique will catch up. Or, if you listen, the technique will follow, That's one way to do it. At the slower tempos, it's like we're so in there that we can actually look at the motion. But
yeah,
in the end, the best case scenario is always to just listen and let the technique follow. And that's why people have no lessons ever in their life and they sound amazing, because they're just listening. I think. I'm going to grab a battery because my metronome just died. But I'm going to try to, there's a couple drummers that I have in mind that I want to bring in, maybe have come over and be guests, because I've sort of thought of a few different players that play different styles of traditional grip. And I feel like it'd be nice to just hear different people talk about how they do it. Because there's lots there. All right, let's warm up, you guys. So real quick, I'm sure you noticed, but me and Chris were just chatting about... I love chatting with Chris, by the way. It's just, man. Chris is like, you're basically still, he's a drum set player. He does Last Reg, and I've never really seen him play drum set, but he's kind of new to traditional and some of this other stuff, and like, yeah, but he's got the experience and life experience to come at it as, already as kind of a master. So it's just, yeah, it's great to have you, Chris. I love playing drums with you, dude, and chatting about it. Also, turned me on to a record that I've only listened to singles from this band, but the Go-Go's, which record?
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast. And this is probably a no-brainer for most people and a dub, but I know that I've known for a long time I need to really listen to some Go-Go's, but it's definitely jumped to the top of the list as far as things I'm going to be.
There you are, man.
That one where they got the masks on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I'm going to do that. He also informed me that it was Belinda Carlisle?
Yeah.
Yeah, she used to hang out. I guess she grew up and kind of hung out with Pat Smear and the Germs, and I guess those two timelines just didn't add up to me. I didn't realize that the Germs were that early or what, but that's cool. We play a couple go-go songs in the band, and it's the drumming like uh, when I learned it, the drumming reminds me of playing like the Ramones, where it's this really like um, more trashy garage rock kind of sloppy hi-hat, straight eights, not a lot of accents there, uh, beats. And so it feels punk, but it also feels kind of like you're playing Bowie, like I feel like I'm tapping into playing like Hunky Dory also, because it's just really boot bat boot boot bat boot boot bat bat boot boot bat. There's like a certain type of song where a lot of different kick patterns can work within the song, and you can sort of improvise them thoughtfully. And the Go-Go's, yeah, it's
You know what the drummer's name is?
what you don't know.
It's Gina Shock.
Oh hell yeah, it is, dude. Oh my.
Gina Shock.
Gina was already a rock and roll name to me. Gina and Tina were those are just by themselves. Shock. Dang.
Gina.
She's a killer drummer, dude.
S-C-H-O-C-K. So.
What's that?
S-C-H-O-C-K. A very German name.
Yeah, for sure. Man. There it is. The song that we've been playing is Can You Feel It?
Yeah, Our Lips Are Sealed.
Our Lips Are Sealed, yeah, and it's crazy because you can hear the whole drum set. You know, it's like you can hear, it's like in the mix, it's like you're in the room and you can hear the whole kit, and you can hear her. It's not like they've boosted the kick and snare, so it sounds like there's no editing. You can tell there's no editing or anything, and the drumming is just slamming.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, man.
Yeah. Great drummer, great parts, perfectly placed little fills. Like it's that thing where like every fill feels like it's a hook, like a guitar hook or something. Boom. So cool. The singer in my band was actually, I love this because she was like, really, really wanted to make sure I was going to play that fill coming out of the bridge. It's got that break. Boom. I'm like, man, if the singer in my band really wants that fill, like, how good of a drummer was that to write that part? You know? Maybe 2 other times she's been like, I need you to play this drum part. It never comes up almost. So cool. All right, let's play some drums. So yeah, today 85 beats per minute, 16th notes, which would have been 170 at 8th notes. So same deal. I haven't got a chance to write the parts, so we're going to double up. We're going to repeat each line, and I'm going to do my best to stay focused and not forget to do that. But let's warm up. 8 on a hand, 60. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Two, 1, 2, here we go. really try to pay attention to what you're feeling in your hands. Try to let go a little bit of what you think it's supposed to be and just feel the motion of that stick. One teacher told me, like, let the stick's weight guide your hand, and you have to have all your fingers on it to feel every part. But let the stick guide that. All right, 170, or no, 70. 2, 1, 2, here we go. One way to kind of get into that space is to imagine that the stick is heavier than it is. So imagine that the stick weighs like 100 pounds. And that will but it'll cause your body to relax a little bit. 1, 2, here we go. Great. We talked last week about playing different size sticks and mixing it up, and I am kind of reaping the benefit of that today because I used like SD4 combos the last time we did this, and today I'm using the Hardimans, and it's nice. Like, the heavier sticks can be easier because you have to work less. So yeah, there's benefits there. 82, here we go. What an improvement on my left hand. Man, that's cool. That's improvement right there. Man, my left hand that's you can see that improvement, because for weeks it was like, man, I could not figure out that motion with just these kind of 4 muscles doing this, and now it is feeling pretty solid, where I feel like I can kind of consistently get this straight up and down. Even when I'm adjusting the stroke, it's still kind of controlled and going up and down. Man, that feels good. And I love this format because if you've been doing this with me, it took like 5 frustrating sessions where I was just struggling, almost wondering if it will ever happen. And then you get these little like gifts back, and here it is. Like today, I'm like, my left hand feels pretty good. Man, that's cool. It's also really cool to have this moment, breakthrough moment, and be able to like share it, because usually when you have these moments, it's just kind of by yourself, and you're celebrating. But it's cool. All right, 90, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Hundred. 1, 2, here we go. Good. I'm going to bring the focus back to making that click disappear. 2, 1, 2, here we go. Click got away from me 3 times. That was good. Awesome. Okay, 120. 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Coming off? I think I might be doing that. Oops. 130. 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Man, Chris Chris is doing Ralph Hardimans, which are basically like almost like MS2s, but they're a little lighter, I think. Backwards buttons of the stick. That is baller. Nice job, man. That thumb must be getting strong, dude.
Well, that's how they do it in Last Regiment, so.
That is punk. Oh, it's metal. That's metal.
Yeah, that's how they do it in that band. So I thought this is a good time to employ it.
Of course, yeah, man. Dude. Get that thumb in shape. All right, here we go. 140. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. I used to play butt ends of my sticks in my band, in a band that I played with growing up, and people would be like, "Why do you play with the butt ends of your sticks?" And dude, that's why, because you hear that? That's cool. Totally different sound. Like sometimes to get bigger snare drum hits, you can add like a tom. If you want it to be fatter, like Bob Rock did that. Like it was an '80s trick where they even put that on records. Like the Foreigner albums and all the Def Leppard Hysteria, you know, you hear like a tom underneath it. A way to kind of do that without having to do that, you know, subtly, is add fatness just with the butt end, and it really works. Not for everything, but okay, 140. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Quite with the click there. Let me try. Here we go, and. That was better. 1, right, here we go. Axe Grid, 85. Each line twice. I'm telling myself that. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Okay, even the accent stroke's a little bit different at these tempos. So yeah, that's good. Moving on. 17. 1, 2. Here we go. Taking a while to find it. Okay, I'm a little bit dependent on looking at my hands, so this is good. 33. 1, 2, here we go. Okay, obviously not going for perfect, just going for better. And one second, I gotta plug my computer in. All right, just in time. 45. 1, 2, here we go. Trying not to be late or early. Also trying not to swing it and having a hard time at it. Okay, for me, just now, I'm having a hard time not swinging these, and by closing my hand on the ghost notes here on the taps, I was kind of playing them a little bit like more with the hand open. When I closed it, felt a little tighter, but it did start to clean up. So that maybe, I don't know, that might work for you too. 61. 1, 2, here we go. Oops. 1, 2, here we go. Much better. couldn't remember if I did 2 on that. Sorry, guys. Just thinking about my hand. Here we go. 77. 1, 2, here we go. Everything's getting a little better. 93. 1, 2, here we go. Cool. 1, 2, here we go. All right, I'm going to experiment with forgetting about my hands and just listening, like I told myself to do and everyone else at the beginning. I think that's going to work. 113. 2, 1, 2, here we go. Oops, 1, 2, here we go. Oh, hold on. There it is. 1, 2. Okay. 129, 2, here we go. Learning a lot here. 145, 2, here we go. second there, I was like, oh yeah, that's how you play those. Here we go, 161. Oh, 1, 2, here we go. Hard. It's hard. Why is it hard? 177. 1, 2, here we go. Yeah, don't forget to open those up. Halfway through that, I was like, man, I gotta open them up. Home stretch. 1, 2, here we go. Let's get a better start on that. We gotta start off good, out the gates. 1, 2, here we go. Nope. 1, 2, here we go. So easy to rush that. Good. Which one's more important, the accent or the taps? 209. 1, 2, here we go. Okay. The results come slowly but surely. You know, I saw results today with my left hand. I'm also feeling a lot of I'm hearing a lot of blind spots. All I can hear for myself is room for improvement, and that's good. And for me, my experience, is I just got to bank on the fact that if I keep doing the work, that it's going to happen. And, you know, I'm acknowledging where I need work. My taps, I feel like my taps are swinging. You know, they're not. What I need to do is just set a metronome and do this for a while. Swinging's good, but not if you're not intentionally wanting to, then the swing will sound bad. It'll sound not good. In mine, I don't feel like it's sounding very good right now. And then the other thing is just I think the motion will come in my hands, but everything is sounding a little bit strained, a little bit uptight, and all that to me just says that I haven't put enough miles on this, and so yeah. I don't know what your experience is like right now, but you know, it's gonna come together. So 16th notes at 85 BPMs completed, which is rad because then we do 90, then 95, then 100, then 100 up and up, and then we're at 120, which is terrifying. But let's do it. Diddles, here we go. Did grid. Okay, I'm going into this knowing that my left hand is gonna hurt. I mean, I'm gonna have pain. It's gonna be pain is such a. There's not enough words for that in this. So it's gonna be tough. I mean, yeah, this is gonna be work. So let's do it. You ready, Chris? All right, here we go. 1, 2, here we go. I can already tell where it's gonna hurt. See, I'm already having to change my fulcrum to get it where I like it to be comfortable. But in reality, you shouldn't do that in the middle of playing. You should be able to play the diddles with any fulcrum. There's an ideal one, but really, like, I shouldn't be adjusting my fulcrum in the middle of these. But you know, they're all habits. So don't cramp up. Don't cramp up. No cramping. 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Oh yeah, relax. Forgot about that one. Oh man, I'm sorry. Again, 17. Repeat the lines. This is how much this is a head trip for me. Repeat the lines. 2, 1, 2, here we go. Adjusting my fulcrum. Okay, here's my commitment to you. I am going to just listen. I'm not going to adjust the fulcrum anymore. I'm just going to do it. It's just got to sound good. 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Okay, that's working way better. See, I got it on my head, about my hands, and just started listening, and boom, things are coming together. 49. 2, 1, 2, here we go. Okay. We know that works because in a line of snare drummers in drum, like if you're in a marching band or drum corps, you can't think about, you're just listening because you have to line up. And so, there's something to be said about it. 53, 2, here we go. So sorry if I did 61 once. My bad. Moving on though. 69. 1, 2, here we go. Might have done it again. Doing my best. 85. 1, 2, here we go. Having a fight for him now. All right, 101, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Such a satisfying rhythm after all that. 109, 2, here we go. A 125. A 1, 2, here we go. This is finding some stuff out about myself. Here we go. 141. 2. 1, 2. Here we go. I'm gonna have to do some homework. 157. 2. 1, 2. Here we go. Whew! 1, 2. Here we go. Man, so for me, this is an in-between tempo. I'm not using index finger almost at all, and yeah, there's definitely some like stabilizer muscles that are needing to get worked, because this tempo, like 100 is easier for me than this, and that happens, and that's why it's important to do all these tempos. So, whoo, 189, 2, 1, 2, here we go. We're going to start at 193 again. That was just trash. 193. 1, 2, here we go. Okay, started to open up and relax and allow myself to open up, and that helped. So here's the next page. Here's the last one. If it's your first time, we don't see this page because I don't want to do a page turn, and I haven't worked it out any other way. So just know that at the end we're going to do an open roll at the end, and that will be 4 bars of 16th notes. So going back, and this is it. This will be the end. 205, 2, 1, 2, here we go. go. Man, that was good for me. Okay, good job, everyone. It's tough, but we're getting there. And 16th notes at completed. We're at completed, you guys. Nice. 85. All right, so let's just chat for a second. So good job. I encourage you to go back and do some of the previous streams at some of the slower tempos in the meantime. So maybe go back and do all, maybe work backwards is one way to do it. So do 130 and then 100 and then 60. And then maybe climb your way back up or just jump back up. But it's good to jump around on these tempos because of the different muscle groups that you use, and it will sort of glue them together, I guess, would be one way to say it. There's one disadvantage to going linear like we're doing, where we're just increasing the tempo, and ideally that's not what you want to do in your own practice. You don't want to just go from slow to fast. You really want to be jumping around, and the assumption here at these tempos especially is that on your own time you're going to go back and kind of jump around on your own time. And then we use because we have a goal, then we're only increasing here. But the increase in this program, the way that we're doing it from slow to fast, is not to imply that that is the method. So yeah, I encourage you to go back and try some different tempos, take breaks, even that tiny little break I had, like on the last page, I went from, like really using like this to get the double to all of a sudden, I can relax. But I didn't know that in the middle of, you get deep in the grid and you don't, it's hard to know. You're just, I don't know how to explain it, but the break helps because it lets you sort of restart, I guess. Okay, so we have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday night we'll be back at 7:30, 90 beats per minute. This is a really good tempo. Lots of music is at this tempo. And so it tends to be a comfortable tempo for a lot of people, whereas like 85 isn't as much, obviously. So we'll see you Tuesday. And thanks so much, everyone. Chris, how was that, buddy? It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. I stumbled quite a bit and fell back behind you, but again, as I mentioned in that message, there's times where it's like I'm with you for a little bit. I'm like stride for stride, and all of a sudden the transition, and I fall back, and
yeah,
and here you go, you keep going, and I'm like catching up, and I'm like, I'm with you again, and then
awesome. That's good.
But yeah, I mean, pushing it for me, but it's like I practiced quite a bit the last 2 days, and I'm still stumbling quite a bit. But it's like I think just got to keep working at it, man. You can't get there without working at it. So,
yep. And it's mysterious. It's like sometimes I wish I could just cram and do 8 hours one day and get a bunch of work in, but it doesn't work like that. It happens over the course of time.
Yeah, I feel like my lesson time or my practice time, I got to cram into the rest of my full life.
I know, me too. Yes.
So
you got to schedule it, it's like, man.
Yeah, well, and like, I got to say, I'm fortunate. I mean, I only have responsibilities